Floridian Mythologies. Time, the enemy of the senses, by David Sawyer. The imagery is of level grove and a sort of firefly landscape where the cypress knees, old with arthritis, light up like neon pops from firefly light. And yet, foul play cannot be avoided. A Dodge Durango is halfway down in the swamp. A woman is near completely wet off the side of the road with no flashlight or purse and only a t-shirt and shorts on, and everything is dripping wet, and she has only one shoe on, and one has come off in the water. But to herself, she'll ponder until the words become said and aloud. Holy shit! What in the hell? Where am I? There isn't a house around for miles. Where am I? I can't see a damn thing. Good Lord, at least I'm alive. She thought aloud, pontificating, but no one would have been annoyed by her words but herself, and she sat and pondered. Hours and hours, it seemed, until a passing car spotted the Durango. Good Lord! Blue and white lights and a siren have been lit up and played, and this policeman has spotted the car halfway in the water. Splash! A somewhat large dive is made by the policeman in search of a body. And way off the side of the road you would have heard screams from the woman whose body... Yoo-hoo-hoo! I'm not in that car, sir. I'm right here. I'm right here. Horrifying terror developed in the woman's face, and then began the shivering chills that came along with every one of her senses as she watched, heard, felt the rescue attempt. But all she really remembered was having music playing, when out of nowhere she saw what she thought was a bear, but was actually a deer. Many cars had driven by, but time itself was the enemy of the senses. Seeing her body in the man's arms had given her the facial expression of utter terror. In the days and weeks, months and maybe years, she became known, was known, as some ghost story out in Level Grove, and the many tales about shadowy figures by the side of the road had so prolonged her afterlife that she became numb to them. She had been detoured from her fabulous other life, so to speak. She had tried living that life to the fullest, but it was soon halted by a dead deer on the side of the road in Level Grove, Florida. And her life wasn't small, whatever size her life had been, but convincing herself of that was a time sieve of ghost-like behavior. So what was will now soon forever be forgotten, y'all. 3 local church members deep in discussion amongst themselves. The first one is wearing a button-down yellow shirt and a visor, Nikes, and around her waist a fanny pack. We was out near Level Grove and saw some lady off the side of the road, and she only had on one shoe. So we got out of that car faster than a popped frog freckle in the summertime sun and asked if she needed some assistance, and she shook her head up and down real quick like, and I tell you what, all she did was shake her head up and down. So when I bent down to look at my shoes, I seen for sure she only had on one shoe when I was looking down at mine, and when I stood back up, she was gone. Church parishioner number 2 is wearing white pants and a button-down black sleeveless shirt with an American flag pin on her shirt lapel and a ball cap on, and she's also wearing blue Sperry's. The other church parishioner is all ears but silent. She's wearing a gray t-shirt and denim blue jeans and flip-flops and a solid gold necklace. And now we are inside the conversation between the 3 women, and this takes place 4 to 5 miles away in the church parking lot, close to where Lisa had died. "BS, ain't no such things as ghosts," said the woman with the flag pin. "I mean, years ago, some middle-aged woman, Lisa was her name, she once hopped in a car, probably avoiding getting caught by her husband that night, and she drowned about 2 or 3 mile up the road yonder from here. Her husband was abusive, so he were some piece of shit wife-beater. But before all that," said the yellow-shirted woman, "before all that, they said this Lisa was also some mucky-muck lawyer out near Tampa. So that was like 14 years ago, I think, and that's a long and mysterious time. Or not. And after all of that, her husband died. And it was long after all of that. Being a ghost in Level Grove wasn't what Lisa had wanted, of course not. And neither was constantly looking on or examining her life and what her husband had done to her as a living person. Wasn't how she wanted to live her afterlife thoughts either. But bewilderments always puzzled the lives of her friends and family as to why they ever married. They were both professional people, and both of them relatively young and attractive people, so what caused the abuse? Her husband did have a huge gambling debt, not soon collected by the collectors, but it utterly destroyed everything decent about him and his life with Lisa. So beating her up was his only source of happiness or manliness. So she had enough and ran that night to her Dodge Durango. And many ghost stories later, here we are.